Make no mistake about it, as Cade Cunningham goes, so do the Pistons. And considering they're first in the Eastern Conference at 9-2, he's going pretty well, leading to one of the most improbable wins you're going to see this year last night versus the Wizards. Let's focus on how Cade got to a 45-point triple-double first, because at some point, we'll have to dive into how he broke the record for most missed field goals in an NBA game ever. A big part of Cade's game is done in the mid-range, which gets him into the superstar category, since these are the kind of shots only reserved for the best player on a team. And I like that the Pistons run some team offense first before he breaks off into the multi-dribble ISO, like starting in the corner in Horns, with three-man action taking the focus on the right side so he can come out of the corner at speed for the handoff. Everything is smooth, under control, probing until he finds the little step-back 13-footer. Now he's on top in Horns, initiating the offense. If he breaks off the cut to come back to the ball, they clear out the top for him and check the slight Dirk leg fade off of 1 foot to get an open 16-footer to swish through. They'll also run a double ball screen across the top, which gets him an advantage when they have to switch this with Javonte Green's defender. Cade simply takes what the drop defense gives him, along with holding his chicken wing in to make sure Trey Johnson flies by before hopping into the little midi. If you're wondering how Cunningham can have a usage percentage that ranks 11th in the league, it's because he's allowed to bring the ball up and just go at his man without ever passing it, bringing Middleton to the baseline before hitting this tough fadeaway midway through the third. While Cade did hit 2 3-pointers, including this clutch shot deep in the fourth, his career percentage on decent volume is well below average, and there's a reason why. Despite having a low set point like Steph Curry, he'll pause the ball there just long enough to interrupt the energy transfer, and it's no surprise to me that most of his misses are short. Missing short is the most common way everybody misses, and with Cade, it's a matter of not timing the arm swing up with the extension of his knees into the jump optimally. He simply can't find any extra power, and unless he can utilize specific methods like I groove with shooters, I fear he won't unlock this facet of his game. The majority of his makes were shots at the rim, and this is where the fate of the Pistons might actually lay. He's got a nice package of dribble moves to manipulate the defense, like this lefty inside-out dribble and then a variety of footwork to find openings to softly bank the shot in off the glass. I really like this high crossover to teach after his defender reached, and now watch how he extends the last step to keep the defender from crowding him on the clutch layup to cut the lead to 3. In the open court, if you're trying to defend him, watch for the left-hand dribble drive into a spin move back towards the middle. He's got this one down pat and is able to slow down and maintain balance and control despite pushing the pace on these shots. What I'm worried most about, however, are his drives in the half court and his struggles to finish. This was a nice off-foot shot as he lifts off the right foot and shoots with the right hand to catch the defense off guard. And on this drive, watch how he quick releases this scoop shot with the same right foot jump, right hand shot, and the defense is left flailing at air. But the montage of his point-blank misses last night encapsulate the biggest issue I have with his game overall, and makes me wonder if it will ultimately put a ceiling on the Pistons. I've been having this argument with my live show partner Combo for 2 years, as he's anointed Cunningham an MVP candidate. And I've been saying the whole time, you cannot be in that conversation while being such a poor finisher at the rim. Last year, on a minimum of 200 shots at the rim, Cade ranked dead last in field goal percentage. He wasn't average, he wasn't a little below average, he was last, and for good reason. So in my book, if you can't be at least proficient at the most valuable shot in the entire game, you're simply not ready for the MVP talk. And a huge reason why he missed more shots than any other player ever in the history of this game is because these are very real struggles. Another thing you might notice is that he gets his shot blocked a lot. He's currently ranked 12th in most shots blocked by the opponent, and last year, only one other player got his weak stuff returned to sender more often. Which brings us to how he sets up his teammates for scores. Nothing too fancy, just basic reads, which is the best way to search for tickets using SeatGeek, the #1 rated ticket app with over 35 million downloads. The reason why I love using SeatGeek is because the variety of events to choose from is insane. Their ticket rating system tells you if you're getting a great deal, and each ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And of course, I got a code for you guys. You can use code BBALL2025 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code BBALL2025. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. Cade's favorite target for assists is Jalen Duren, usually out of the pick and roll, as we can see how much gravity Cade has to draw both defenders to him. Cunningham's size lets him throw passes over the top, and Duren is a beast when he doesn't have to dribble the ball on his catches in the lane. Again, watch Cade draw both defenders in the ball screen, usually leaving a small guard back there trying to stop the freight train to no avail. And Duren is mobile enough to release before the contact and get going downhill, so Cade can throw the one-handed alley-oop pass for the flush. This play progresses for another favorite target of Cade's, Duncan Robinson. As Duren rolls hard to the basket, watch how it forces Banchero to bump down and take away the layup. Great read and one-handed hook pass to skip it to the corner, where Robinson has to do a little extra work to get it off and into the basket. Again, watch how Cade draws two defenders, then Duren draws the help off of Robinson's man, who was put in this position on purpose, making the read easy for Cade as he skips it over the top of the defense, and Robinson is too good a shooter to be bothered too much by a flyby. I really like this pistol action they run in the wing where Cunningham throws the ball ahead early looking for the handoff, which triggers a flare cut by Robinson, getting him plenty of open space to knock down this open three ball. This same play ended up being a huge factor in last night's game, and I was impressed with how calm and cool Cade was under intense pressure from the handoff, absorbing the contact and then throwing the accurate pass back to the top for Robinson to do what he's been so good at throughout his career. Currently, this team ranks 4th in defensive rating and 2nd in block shots, and the energy required for these kinds of plays is provided by a number of guys who are still trying to prove themselves in the league. Paul Reed steps up to hedge against the pick and roll and then sprints right back into the play to swat this thing away. Cade Cunningham does something similar as he does get beat on his closeout pretty easily, but never gives up, knowing Duren is always back there to protect the rim, so Cade helps back to his man and they gang up on Sarr to not only block the shot, but to recover the loose ball. The Pistons rank number 1 in lowest field goal percentage allowed at the rim because they're good at getting into early help rotation versus the ball screen, and Cade's size helps him be an imposing force as he expertly uses verticality to stop the big from scoring. They're also 8th in deflections. Those pesky hands are constantly reaching and knocking the ball away from professional ball handlers, where it leads to another point-blank miss at the rim. Cade gets into the act by smartly taking away the middle to force the drivers towards the baseline. From there, his dig at the ball helps knock it loose, and quick thinking to not try and grab it awkwardly but to just bounce it off his man's shoe out of bounds. They're aggressive in handoff situations, first with Duren reaching in to keep his man's back turned to the hoop and neutralize him as an offensive threat, and then once the handoff occurs, they just smother the ball until it's a turnover. They're constantly reaching for that ball as the handoff leads to a cutter, but before he can mount an attack, the ball is deflected away, and now he's rushing in the face of great pressure, which directly causes another miss at the rim that they're so notorious for coaxing. Looking at their schedule, they've got quality wins over the Rockets and the Sixers, but not much else to pat themselves in the back for just yet. I need to see if they can compete against the top 4 teams in the East before I'll feel comfortable predicting them anything better than, say, 5th in the conference. And despite missing so many shots, there was no doubt last night that Cade put the team on his back and carried them to a win they had no business winning. It was a little lucky that this defender fell asleep while up by 3 and almost no time left, allowing the one thing you cannot allow. But it did give Cade his 10th assist for the triple-double, and in the overtime, despite Cade going 1 for 4 from the field. But unless Cade can significantly improve his finishing and then also raise up his three-point percentage, I'm afraid there's only so far he'll be able to take this team in the playoffs. Meaning, they need to do some upgrades sooner than later to keep the franchise on an upward trajectory.